I was still confused about why did there even need to be a jury view.
I don't know why the jury needs to see the evidence, Judge. Hey y'all, it's your girl J9E, and we are gonna react some more shenanigans. This clip right here is the judge talking about showing the jury the photos of the car that he used to drive into the parade and through the lives of all these people. Okay, ransacking their whole existence. Now, so this is pretty funny. Okay. So we're just gonna hop on in and see what our precious Darrell has to say about the fact that they're gonna see this stuff. He said he didn't want to be there for it, and so the judge is like, you know what, that's your rights. If you don't want to be there, you don't have to be there for it. You don't have to be in the courtroom for that, if that's what you want to do. But of course, when you give Darrell his way, he then changes mind and wants another way. Why? Because that's our precious Darrell, okay? He's so wonderful. Such a wonderful, charming feller, okay? Darrell, what do you have to say? Let's see. What is going on? How do you feel about all this?
Okay. And I know I indicated to you that I would require you to be there. I've rethought that. I've had the overnight to really think about it.
So reasonable.
And if that is your decision to not be present for that, what I would say is this. I want you to be advised that you have a right to be at that jury view. Did you hear me say that?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much told me yesterday about, everything that was going on. I didn't
Listen.
agree to or consent to it being, well, I was still confused about why did there even need to be a jury view.
I don't know why the jury needs to see the evidence, Judge. Hey, Judge, I don't consent to the jury knowing what I've done, okay? I don't consent to that. And I recuse myself of the proclamation of independence, okay? My country, 'tis of thee.
That was my whole thing. I don't see the relevancy of it. And I also didn't agree with or consent to having to be part of something that I don't see as relevant.
I appreciate you making a record of that, but did you hear what I said, that you have a right to be present for it? I've ruled that let me back up. There's been a request from...
It's like talking to a toddler. Wait, let's go back. I know I gotta be super specific with you, sir. Let's just go back and start over.
the state to have the jury look at the vehicle that was recovered by the police and, of course, is alleged to be the vehicle that was driven through the parade. Did you hear me advise you of that?
Yes, I heard.
All right, so that motion was addressed previously, and I granted the request for that jury view. Did you hear me say that?
I'm informed.
All right, thank you. So with that, you have a right to be present at that jury view. Did you hear me say that?
I'm informed.
And I would like you to be there.
He's so rebellious. He's like, whatever it is that you want me to say, I'm gonna say something kind of like it, but not really, because words.
I believe it is a piece of evidence. That's why I've drafted jury instruction 152 the way that I did. Did you hear me say that?
I'm informed.
So my question to you then this morning is, do you want to be present at the jury view of the vehicle?
That's a complicated question, Your Honor.
I don't see the reason why I would need to be present.
Okay, that's a
Well,
no.
that's my question to you, though, is do you want to be present for it? You are the accused in this case.
It's funny because look, if the judge says, okay, then you're not gonna be here. You don't want to be here, and that's fine. And I respect that. I respect your right to want to not be here. So you won't be in the courtroom. You can't make me not be in the courtroom. Okay, then you will be in the courtroom. You can't make me be in the courtroom. Judge, hey judge, there's no right answer. Just ain't no cheat code to Darrell. Darrell don't have a cheat code, Your Honor. There's no way out. You gotta shove him under the jail where he can't trip you up. Okay, so that's why you gotta dig so far down. Get him in there real good.
You're the person who the state has alleged committed these acts. It's the jury view will be to view a piece of evidence that frankly can't come into the courtroom due to its size.
Right.
And the jury's going to be shown that. So do you want to be present at that?
For the record, I'm not a person, I'm a human being. And no, I do not consent to.
Darrell, he will object to, for the record, like you about to get 1,000 years and you are talking about how you not a person, you a human being. I don't give a if you a snail, honey. Just slither your little behind up underneath of that person. I resent the fact that you referred to me as a person. I'm not a person. I am a human. Okay, baby. You be whatever you want to be. As long as that thing you be under the jail. You heard? Did you hear me?
Or agree to being present at a jury view.
Uh-huh.
All right, then I'm going to honor his request, but what I am going to do, though, is as part of that process in any event, because it's being done in a secure location, is I have ordered that I want to make a record of what's being done, and I want a visual record of what is being done. And so this jury view is going to take place in the sally port of the jail. And precautions are being taken so that the jurors do not know where it's at. It'll look like a garage, right? Anything that says jail within the sally port is being covered up. That will be verified before anyone is taken in there. They will be transported to there. I'm not sure if they'll walk or drive because it's very close. But then the sheriff's department, because it's...
I'm going to tell y'all. She's the perfect, they picked the perfect judge to put over this case. They picked the perfect judge. You know why? She was so nice. She was so reasonable that it's going to be impossible. It's going to be impossible for him to even be able to humor anything like, like a mistrial or something. You know what I mean? Like, she literally gave him a million chances. She gave him the most rope that anyone has ever been handed. And you know what he done with the rope. He done that to himself, okay? She gave him enough rope, more than enough rope. And this is what he done with it. Oh my God. Like, she was perfect for this. She wasn't like, she wasn't in her feelings. She wasn't, I mean, it was perfect. It was perfect. Even down to just the fact that she was a female, so that he could really expose his aggression. You know what I mean? Because he clearly has issues with chicks. You know what I'm saying?
As the court official, I'm in charge of keeping the record, not keeping the record, I'm in charge of making the record. It's the better way to say it. And I want to make sure that there's a record of what is done for this trial and certainly for any appellate purposes if need be.
Yes, that part.
The sheriff's department, excuse me, the sheriff's department is obviously charged with the security and safety of a courtroom, including the jurors. And so I have asked the sheriff's department to record. And so there is a camera with that will be on a tripod that will record what's there before anyone gets there. I've instructed them to take that camera to walk around the vehicle and while it's recording to put it back on the tripod. And before the jurors and the court are brought in, once we are brought in, it will also be recorded, and that contemporaneous recording, so that will be as I will walk.
I gotta tell you, I would never want to lay eyes on that car. It's this one particular part of what happened that I just like, I can see it in my head, and I don't want confirmation that what I saw in my head was accurate, because it was horrible.
I have a question though.
Go ahead.
If I have a right to be present,
Uh-huh.
then I have a right to not be present. How can this take place if I don't agree or consent to being present? How can it even still take place without?
It's so funny. He literally can't imagine that the world, because the world revolves around Darrell. Please don't forget this part. It's a very intricate part of everything that happened today. Even him driving through that parade, the world is centered around him. So when he was driving down that road, it was everybody else's fault. That's why it was everybody else's fault to him, because he is the center of the universe, and they should have moved out of his way. This is how it works for him. Wait, well, how can they look at it if I don't agree to it? I can't consent to you punishing me. I can't consent. This is why he says things like this. He literally does think that the world, he's the center of the universe. Of the universe, not his universe. Like each one of us is the center of our own existence, right? We are the center point of our own existence. All we know is what we get to see, what we personally experience, right? But for him, he thinks the whole world, he's the center of the whole world experience. That's what he thinks. Wait, but how can you still do it if I said that I don't want you to? How does that work? Me no understanding. You know, like, Darrell, just sit back in your cot and just chill out. It's okay. What you'll realize it once you're in prison and you see it on TV and stuff, that people are still outside living even though you're in there. Then you're gonna be like, wait, how are you still out existing and I'm not out there with them? The world revolves around me, right? Nope. Not at all. This video does, though.
Without me.
It will take place, sir. I'm just going to honor your request not to be there.
I'm asking a question though. How can it take place without my consent or agreement?
Did you agree to be on trial?
If you don't, it's going to take place. That's how I'm going to answer that, sir.
She's like, what?
So you not going there is not going to prevent it from happening.
My Lord,
But you can forfeit your right or to
I
be
didn't-
there
I
by your
didn't-
conduct. And by
I
your
didn't-
conduct, by not answering my question, by saying I don't want to be there and I don't consent to it, you will be forfeiting your right to be present and essentially waiving that.
Doesn't I have to sign something for it to be waived?
I don't think so in this.
Look, don't I gotta sign something for that? So that I can refuse to sign something for that? He wants power. He wants the world to show him that the power he thinks he feels inside is real. The trick is, the gag is, Darrell, it ain't. That's the gag. The gag is, you're wrong. Oh my God. Darrell, you are hilarious.
Case.
Well, yesterday you said something about
I know I said that, and I've had some time to think about that further, and I don't believe I need to take a full waiver with you signing anything or even agreeing to the waiver.
so why did I have to do that for when my
I'm not going to answer those questions because that
Well,
would be for me to give you an explanation of the law
No,
I'm
it
just
would
going to
be-
tell you that I'm not going
Yeah, and I'm glad she said that. No, Daryl, what you're not gonna do is make me be your lawyer, okay? This is her trying to get him to explain the law to him. She's like, no, 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 you almost got me, but I'm not gonna do it. I am not your lawyer. That's why I told you you want to keep your lawyer. I told you that. I told you. Remember I told you that? I told you that. But you didn't want to listen, and now you want me to explain the law to you. That's why you're supposed to have a lawyer, because you don't know those things. And it is not her job to tell you. Stank. Not her job. I'm glad she caught herself. She's so nice though. A couple of times she actually did. She explained the law stuff to him. But she's like, no, what you not? No. Oh, you almost got me. But no, I'm not going to explain the law to you. You have to figure that out on your own. That's why you had a lawyer and you didn't want it.
to
But now,
require a written waiver from you in order to honor your request to not be at the, or even if I phrase it, your lack of consent to the jury view.
And is that lawful law? Because
yep.
Sir, I'm not going to go through all the law that applies to that. This is my ruling. If you disagree with it and ultimately there is a conviction, you can raise that on appeal. But
no,
your lack
Your
of
Honor.
consent is not going to stop the jury.
He's like, no. Like, yes. There. Hey, Daryl. Yes.
Review. It's going to happen. It's a piece of evidence that I cannot physically fit in this courtroom. It's too big. There's no way to get it in.
okay, I'm informed of that, but at the same time, if I haven't signed any waiver, how could it be lawful? I haven't given consent or agreement to a jury view. I haven't waived any right. When the whole issue was brought up,
What?
on the record yesterday, my first thing that I said was, I don't see the relevancy of why there should even be a jury view. And that was the whole issue. And yesterday I was told about the, I don't know how you say it, the colloquy, or however you say it. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I know
Which
what
was-
I said, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I had time to reflect. That was my initial reaction to your statement yesterday, but I've thought about it some more, and
'Cause I'm the
I'm
judge.
changing my mind.
So
I don't believe I need to take a full waiver with a colloquy with you and anything in writing. I'm advising you, you have the absolute right to be there. But I'm also advising you that if you choose not to be there, I will honor that request.
So sweet. She's so sweet. She's like, oh, you don't want to come? You know what? I thought about it. If you don't want to come, I'm not going to make you do that. You know, like, you are a grown man. If you don't want to come, I will respect your wishes, sir. But what you ain't going to do is tell me what I can't do. You ain't going to do that. We ain't going to do that. Nope. I ain't doing it.
And I'm not going
Your
to
Honor, the
force
way-
you. I'm not going to direct the sheriff's department to, use any type of force, if you will, or require you or get you there without your consent. You either cooperate with that process or you don't.
The way I interpret the law, though, Your Honor, which the law is designed for
Me. That's what
to
you
be
wanna do.
interpreted by the people. The way I interpret that is I have the right, or essentially to be there or not to be there, and it still has to be an agreement or consent. That's how I interpret the law.
Yeah.
My ruling on that, sir, is I disagree.
And even if that's the case, that's fine. That's what she told you, though. She gave you that as a courtesy. She said, look, you have the right to be there or not be there. You can change your mind right now and decide to be there. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to support you. I support you, baby. I support you. I support you, and I scoot you right under the prison.
Agree with you.
Scooch.
You do not need to provide consent for the jury view to happen. Your objection is noted for the record. I'll make a specific finding today that it is relevant to these proceedings, to this trial. There is an allegation that you drove through the Waukesha Christmas Parade on November 21 of 2021, driving a red Ford Escape, killing 6 and injuring dozens more. The relevance is that there is, in addition to the charges, there's an enhancer that has been charged as it relates to the intentional homicide charges and the first degree recklessly endangering safety, that you committed those acts while using a dangerous weapon. I would direct your attention to the meaning.
A weapon he had used before, might we add? Might we add, Judge? Might we add? He had used this same weapon before. This is his weapon of choice, one might say. One would be right.
Of a dangerous weapon, that the legal definition that was provided to the jurors in the preliminary jury instructions, and that the jury view is related to the evidence that the state is presenting regarding the charges, and specifically the instrumentality that they allege is the dangerous weapon. So there's clear relevance of this vehicle and has evidentiary value. Again, your objection is noted for the record, but I will and am permitting the jury view of the vehicle. With that, I'm going to move on to the jury instruction.
I don't agree or consent to that, Your Honor.
I understand
If
your
I'm
objection
not-
is well noted for the record. I need to keep going though on the pattern and
I'm
jury.
informed that you need to keep going. I'm not trying to stop you from continuing to go. I'm merely stating for the record
You've done
that there are things I do not understand how they're being permitted versus.
You know why, Darrell, you don't understand? You know why? Because you don't have a lawyer. That's why. This is the moment. It's moments like this, Darrell, that you would turn and look to your right and go, hey, Steve. Hey, Steve, what is she talking about? And then Steve would say, well, in this and this and that law, this is how this works. And you would say, oh, but no, you wanted to do it all by yourself because you were so capable. You're so smart. You don't need help. What help? What is that? What is that? You still haven't learned your lesson. When you need help, talking about, dude, you don't really know where to look for help. Your help was sitting right next to you. You said, go on somewhere. And they said, whew, thank goodness. Oh my God, I do not want to go down in life as the person who was defending this thing. The antics that were coming.
The Constitution.
You
I
didn't go to
mean,
law school?
I'm sure you're aware under Article 6, Chapter 2 about the Supremacy Clause, that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. So how can we disregard?
Mr. Brooks, I'm not disregarding the Constitution. Here's the thing, I've made my ruling, okay? Once I've made a ruling, I do expect that even if you disagree with it, you will not continue to argue it.
It's not
that
arguing.
We will continue on with the next topic.
I'm seeking to understand, Your Honor. It's not an argument.
Mr. Brooks, I'm not going to explain further other than what I have done, my ruling. My ruling stands. Now, I'm going to move on to the jury instruction. I gave the parties
May I
2
respectfully
documents.
reject that ruling and take exception to that ruling?
Your objection is noted. I'm
For the
moving on
record, may
to
I
jury.
request a legal or factual basis for your
Mr.
ruling,
Brooks,
Your
please
Honor?
don't interrupt me, okay? I give you an opportunity to raise your objection.
Hey, Darrell, they're going to see the car. Hey, Darrell, just let it go. You got bigger fish to fry, okay? It ain't like they ain't seen pictures of the car, okay? They seen pictures of the car with you in it. So them seeing the car is not going to be the thing. Trust me, this is just them getting some air. They already know what they're going to do with you. They already know. They already know. They're just checking the scaling of the basement of the prison to see if it's suitable for you. Like, I would like for him to go into the basement, though. The jail, the prison is too classy for this one. We need the basement, like 3 floors down, like that room that's under the basement where the sewage run.
objections and to make your legal arguments,
raising
and then I make a
objection now.
ruling, and then you start in on something else.
Yep.
You need to give me your argument all at once. For you to interrupt me afterward is disruptive
Yep.
to me.
Yes.
It's not
And
disruptive.
it's interrupting and it's disruptive.
It is definitely not
Well,
disruptive.
if that's
Oh my
my
God.
view of things, sir, and what I
How you interrupt somebody while they talking and then say this is not disruptive? I think that Daryl understands words. Words have like meanings. Daryl, I think you don't know that, and I don't know why you don't know that, but I think someone should have told you that. Maybe your mom when she was coddling the shit out of you. Clearly.
I'm putting on the record is that it does disrupt what I'm doing and the flow of what I'm doing and needing to move on, having to interrupt what I'm doing so that I can address that once again. Please, please. I know you may not always agree with my rulings, but I'd ask that you show the courtesy and decorum that is expected of everyone. And once I make a ruling, we're going to move on. You don't need to keep objecting.
She's so sweet. She has hopes that our precious Daryl has a reasonable bone. The gag is, Judge, he don't got one of those. He missing that bone. He don't have that bone. That reasonable bone that you wish he had. And your job would be so much easier if he had. He don't got. He don't got a reasonable bone in his body. Like, he don't. All his bones, his whole skeleton is unreasonable, okay? It just is. It just is.
Because your objection's already been noted for the record. I'm going to continue. We're going to look at jury instruction 152.
Well,
I gave the parties 2 documents yesterday. One was the pattern instruction, which I've modified, and then one is the draft of, and Mr. Brooks, please stop. You're continuing to talk over me.
Because
You're interrupting.
You said I have the right to object, and you didn't let me even get to the objection.
I did, sir.
No, you didn't. I was right in the
Your
middle of
objection
it.
comes before the ruling, not after. Once I make a ruling, we're moving on.
You made a ruling before we even finished the conversation, Your Honor. With all due respect,
Brooks,
before
please
we
stop.
even finished,
That's not true. Okay?
you
It's
said
not
I'm going to
true.
make a ruling. As soon as you even started in about
Mr. Brooks, I'm not
having
going
the
to
time to
spend
think.
hours on end making a ruling about a jury view on something I've already decided. All right? So please, I'm asking you to stop. Stop
No,
interrupting me.
You can't.
And please
you can't
listen.
Just,
Like, no, you can't. Why? Oh, because I said so. Duh. Judge, I don't know if you noticed this, but I too am the judge. I know it's weird, but I am the judge. I'm the judge. I know it seems like I'm the defendant, and stuff, but in actuality, in Daryl world, I am the judge. So you do what I say, like my mama and my girlfriend do.
disregard the United States Constitution, which has a
I
supremacy
absolutely
clause.
am not disregarding the
You are.
United States Constitution
You're not
or the
honoring your oath
Constitution
of
of
office.
the state
Your
of
Honor,
Wisconsin.
are you not a public servant?
Okay, Mr. Brooks, you're starting to cross the line. You've already crossed it, but I want to keep going. I want
didn't
you in
cross
this
any
courtroom.
line.
Yes, you did.
But if you keep interrupting me and putting you on notice that you run the risk of being forfeiting your right to be present in this courtroom and continuing in the next courtroom so that I can effectively and without interruption continue with the proceedings this
So again,
morning.
you're holding me in contempt.
All right. Jury instruction 152. As the state had an
He keeps calling it contempt. It's not contempt. She's putting you in the other room where you still are there. We see you on the camera doing crazy shit. Chewing on your toenails. We see you in the camera. Taking your shirt off. Doing all kinds of stuff. And you can hear them and they can hear you. And it's not the same thing as contempt. Okay?
opportunity to review
Is
it.
that a judicial determination that I'm being held in contempt?
Daryl. Our precious Daryl. He was so hardcore. Making his little rap videos You know what I'm saying? In front of his, I guess what he thought was he made his video sitting in front of this car, like look, I have a vehicle. You know what I'm saying? But it was funny because that was his mom's car. It wasn't even a cool car, and it was his mother's car. Like, I mean, sheesh, sheesh. This that's a reach, Daryl. But you were someone to be respected and feared by only women, apparently. But feared. You're not gonna be showing these people what I done, Judge. That's what you ain't gonna do. Daryl, get up underneath of this prison. Look at just climb, just close your eyes. Close your eyes and crawl under the prison. Close your eyes and crawl under the prison. You have food you can chew on your mustache, 'cause clearly that's what you've been doing anyway. On that note, y'all behave, 'cause I'm not gonna do it. You already know that. Mama love you. Peace.